Do you have any questions in electrochemistry? So I think you'll get most of the questions from electrochemistry for minor 2 exam. Sorry, minor 1 exam. Okay. So today we will talk about corrosion of metals, and its control of the corrosion of the metals. So what do you know about corrosion? Anybody?
Rusting, sir.
Rusting of metals. Okay.
Metal reaction with oxygen.
Metal reaction with oxygen. And what else?
Formation of layers on metals due to some external reaction.
Okay, very good. Due to external reactions with what? What type of elements?
Oxygen or something else like air.
What? Oxygen and
Iron.
iron. Okay. Okay. What happens with the corrosion? If the metals are reacted with some elements like oxygen or sulfur or some gases, what happens?
It gets
Become
What?
rusted.
Rusting. So rusting is a good or bad?
Bad, sir.
Bad.
Bad. Okay. How bad it is?
good in some ways and bad in some ways.
Okay. Can you elaborate it?
So iron will lose its quality by rusting. Due to rust.
Okay. So iron loses its quality, its properties like strength or ductility, some other physical properties. Okay. And good in what sense? Anybody? Good in what sense? Or do you know all the metals are corrosion?
No.
No, sir.
No. Why? Or what are the metals which are not corrosive? Hmm? Anybody? Tell me the metals which are not corrosive.
Aluminium.
Aluminum. Okay.
Silver.
Aluminum,
Gold.
silver,
Platinum.
gold,
Crystal.
platinum.
Gold.
What?
Gold.
Yes. What do you
Platinum.
call these metal? Platinum. Yes.
Zinc.
Zinc. Okay. Very good. So these metals are not corrosive. Okay. So very good. So as according to our syllabus, so we are going to study about the corrosion and its control, So mechanism of corrosion. So there are two types of mechanisms. One is dry corrosion and wet corrosion. So dry means like it's a chemical corrosion. So corrosion due to chemicals. Wet corrosion. So this is due to some electrochemical reactions of metals. We will also study the types of electrochemical corrosion. So for example, so galvanic and waterline corrosion and etc. We also need to study. So what are the factors influencing corrosion? So what are the factors? You already know. So some of them. So like exposed to oxygen or moisture, I mean water content, and some gases like H2S. Okay, some chloride exposure. So these are even temperature also influences the corrosion behavior of the metal surfaces. And how can you control the corrosion? So we'll study different methods to control the corrosion of the metals. So you already know. So what is the corrosion? So it's a process of decay of metal. So by the attack of environmental reagents, water. I mean, water means it could be moisture also, the water and oxygen. So even it could take oxygen out of moisture. So the best example you already know, which is rusting of iron. So forming a reddish layer of iron oxide. Okay. So and also copper, so carbon oxide layer. So these are the examples of corrosion of metals. So how do you measure the corrosion? So you measure like in inches or milli-inches per year. So on the metal surface, the corrosion layer. So the corrosion is on oxidation process. And it is it's a reversible. Okay, and it releases some energy. So actually, this is corrosion is a total mostly the surface phenomena. So first of all, I mean the reagents attack and it reacts with the surface and form an oxide layer. Why? Because there is always some surface energy equilibria. So I mean it forms. I mean it reacts with the surface reagent. And the metals. I mean when you consider like iron, copper, you also said that some metals do not corrode. Why? So there is always like I mean they want to minimize the surface energy. So in the process of minimizing the surface energy, the metals, I mean, so the surfaces, so reacts with the environmental reagents, whichever are available on the surface. So some metals, they could react with oxygen or water. Okay, even some metals they can only react with the some halogens like acids. So when you put a metal, the bottle of sulfuric acid on the top of the bottle, so even can corrode the metal. Okay, so this is all about for minimizing the surface energy levels of the metal surfaces. So the causes of corrosion: oxides, chlorides, the silicates, carbonates, and the sulfides. So these mostly these reagents are, I mean, causes the of different metals. So it depends upon their So electronic configuration. So during extraction of the metals, the ores are reduced to metallic state by supplying considerable amount of energy. So mostly the isolated pure metals are in excited states. So then, so for example, if you take iron ore, so iron ore is not an is just a pure the metal. When you extract,
Sir,
so
your
it
voice is
could be
breaking.
okay.
Sir, you are muted, sir.
Sorry. So can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Is it audible? Okay. So dry or you can call chemical corrosion. So what do you mean by dry corrosion? So the corrosion in the option, that means there is no moisture content, but it could directly the chemical action of environment on the surface of the metal. In the absence of moisture is known as a dry corrosion. So it occurs mainly the direct chemical action of atmospheric gases like oxygen, agents like chloride, fluoride, or iodine, and H2S gases, and sulfur dioxide and nitrogen, or some anhydrous inorganic liquids. So with the metal surface. Okay. So for example, this silver materials undergo chemical corrosion. So by H2S gas. So iron with the HCl gas. So the chloride attacks metal surface. So here, in the case of silver and HTS, the sulfur attacks the silver. Even sulfur, even gold also react with the sulfur, but it want to corrode, but it forms a stable layer. In the case of noble metals, which are called silver, gold, okay, platinum. So there is a reaction between silver surface and gold surface, but it won't corrode, but it will react and form, yeah, because there is the strong between gold and sulfur is very strong. So that's why it's a stable layer. So there are three types of chemical corrosion. So one is oxidation corrosion. So another one is corrosion due to other and like oxidation corrosion. So when the metal surface is ready to be attacked by the oxygen, so it depends upon the concentration of the oxygen and also the temperature, the corrosion rate will be different. So it varies with these factors. So for example, when you see this graph, so when you, the x-axis is oxygen concentration and the y-axis is corrosion rate. So even at lower temperatures levels, so the huge attack of oxygen on the metals, except silver, gold, and platinum. So these are stable against the oxygen. Okay, so the mechanism, so behind the oxygen surface of the metal, so forming some metal ions, so M2 plus, and oxygen is converted to oxide, ion, so which is O2 minus, so due to the transfer of electrons from the. So the overall reaction is of oxide ions reacts with the metal ions to form a metal oxide. So this, I mean, these metal oxide films, different types again. So stable metal oxide films, unstable metal oxide films, or could be porous or non-porous oxide films. Okay, these details we will study in the next slides. So you can estimate the reactions between the metals and oxygen. So the oxygen electrons. So the oxygen takes the electrons, and oxygen is reduced on the metal surface, and it forms the oxide layer on the top of the surface. So you see so the metal plus ions are transferred available on the surface. So the oxygen attacking the surface and oxidizes the metal. So what is oxidation here? What is the reducing agent in this reaction? So what is the oxidizing agent? What is the reducing agent? Anybody? What is the oxidation agent? What is the reducing agent in this reaction?
Oxidizing agent is oxygen.
Oxidizing agent is oxygen. What is the reducing agent?
Metal.
Metal. Okay, very good. Okay, metal oxide is the corrosion product. So which I have already told you. So there are four different types of oxide films. So stable oxide films, we can call layer or films. It's more or less I mean equal words. You can use any of them. So you can call layer or you can call film. So film layer is a maybe thin layer. Film means maybe thick layer. So stable metal oxide layer. So for example, aluminum. So lead, copper. So these metals could form, I mean, stable oxide layers on the surface. Unstable metal oxide layers. So for example, silver, gold, platinum. So these are, I mean, there is no strong bond between these metals to oxygen. So that's why it's not stable. So it could be removed easily. So volatile metal oxide layer. So volatile oxide layer, for example, molybdenum. So whatever the oxide layer formed on this metal, so it could be, well, I mean, it's could be volatile. So maybe maybe some temperature variation. So maybe if you increase the temperature, maybe you can get rid of the oxide layer on the surface. So another one is a porous metal oxide layer. So it could be alkali metals and alkaline earth metals. So these metals, I mean, if these metals react with the oxide, so it could form a porous metal oxide. What do you mean by porous? What do you mean by porous? Anybody? Porous means there are some some pores. Pores means holes on the layer. So it depends upon the size of the pores. It could be micron size pores, maybe for 1 micron, 2 micron, 5 micron, 10 micron. It depends. And it could be nanoporous. It could be maybe 100 nanometer, 200 nanometer. It's all depends. So if there are pores are available, so this maybe some other reactive gases or some chemicals could enter the metal surface through these pores, and it could corrode more. So I will come to that later. So stable metal oxide layer. So for example, so aluminum, tin, lead, copper. So these metals form oxide layers on surface. So you can use this phenomena for protection of the metals. The stable layer is fine grained in structure and can get adhered tightly to the parent metal surface. That means, so there is a strong bond between metal surface and the oxygen. So due to that strong bond, there is a stable layer formation. So it can behave like a protective coating, and it protects the surface. So that means, so it could prevent the further corrosion. So once the metal is metal oxide is formed on the surface, if it is stable, so that means you could avoid further corrosion of the metals. So that means there will be no further corrosion with this phenomena. An unstable unstable, so which we have already know. So gold, copper, gold and silver, platinum. So do not undergo oxidation. So metal oxide plus oxygen. So that means unstable. So it could be in case if it is formed, so you can easily remove it. So volatile metal oxide layer. So whatever the metal is reactive with oxygen, so it could be evaporated with the environmental conditions. So in that case, so if whatever the oxide film is formed on the surface, if it is evaporated due to its volatile nature, sorry. So if the layer is evaporated, the surface is ready to be attacked by the further oxygen for further corrosion. So in this phenomena, so the metal is more corrosive. So there is no stable oxide layer on the surface. And the porous, the in the case of porous nature of the oxide film, yeah. So pores means I already told you. So there are some little holes on the film. So that means even further oxygen could enter the metal surface through the pore, either oxygen or maybe some maybe the different gases. Even when you put some water, some moisture also, it could go will enter through the metal surface. So that means the oxide film further goes on increasing. So there will be more corrosion of the metal. So further attack through pores and cracks. So it will be until so it corrodes the metal completely. So there is a filing Bedworth rule. So in order to this and it go to the volume of metal oxide layer. So this is the equation. The specific volume ratio is equal to the volume of layer, the volume of the pure metal. Okay, the smaller the specific value, the greater is the oxidation corrosion. Okay. So according to this, the volume of oxide layer upon the volume of the pure metal. Okay. So if the specific volume ratio is smaller, it's low. So that means there is a greater oxidation corrosion. So for example, chromium, nickel. So for example, these are the specific volume ratios. The rate of corrosion is least in tungsten. So why? Because there is a more specific volume ratio. Tungsten is 3.6, nickel 1.6. So if it is 1.6, nickel has more tendency of chromium and tungsten. So tungsten is the corrosive. I mean, according to specific value, which is defined by Bedworth piling Bedworth rule. So the volume of corrosion film is more than the underlying metal. It is strongly adherent, non-porous, and does not allow the penetration of corrosive gases. So that means there will be no further corrosion. Okay, did you follow it? So if there is a more oxide film on the surface, so it is strongly bonded to the metal surface, and which is non-porous and does not allow any corrosive gases or chemicals anything onto the surface. So that means certainly it is it will act as a protective layer. So that means there won't be any further corrosion. If the volume of the corrosion film formed is less than the underlying metal, so it forms pores or cracks and allow the penetration of corrosive gases, leading to corrosion of the underlying metal. So if there are pores or some cracks on the surfaces, corrosive. Based on this piling Bedworth rule. So now, so far we have discussed about dry or chemical corrosion. So now we will talk about so the direct chemical action of environment on the surface of metal is presence of conducting liquid with the formation of electrochemical cells. So here in this case, so the metal surface is in contact with some conducting liquids. So there is some oxidation undergoes the metal surface. So it a common the type of corrosion is a aqueous corrosive. So because it's water corrosive. Water is very corrosive. So the process of corrosion with the water and metals. So it will be explained through electrochemistry. So it will it's some conducting liquid. So there is the formation of galvanic shell. So between the metal surface and the so one act as a cathode, another one act as a anode. So there is and there is a oxide film formed on the surface. So at anode oxidation, we already know. So it takes place liberating electrons, and electrons at anode are transported to cathodic area. So where it's hydrogen plus ions or oxygen and natural water consumes the electrons, generating non-metallic ions. So like OH minus. So metallic, so which is in a positive ion, and non-metallic, which is a negative. So it diffuses towards each other and result in the formation of corrosion product. And in between anodic. So this is this is the mechanism. So in the equation, the metal. So it forms the metal Mn plus the metal positive ions plus it releases the electron.
Sir.
Yeah.
Voice is breaking, sir.
Voice is breaking. I think it's due to network issues. How about now? Is it okay? So the mechanism which already explained in the previous slides. So electrochemical corrosion involves the flow of electrons. The anodic reaction involves the dissolution of metal, liberating free ions. And cathodic reaction consumes electrons with either evolution of hydrogen or absorption. Okay, so based on this, so there are two types of corrosion. So in wet corrosion and electrochemical corrosion. So one is the corrosion through evolution of hydrogen. So hydrogen is evaluated. Another type is the corrosion due to absorption of oxygen. So here there will be two types we'll discuss. One is evolution of hydrogen.
Sir, it is breaking, sir.
Another one is absorption of. So now so we will talk about the evolution of the hydrogen, the electrochemical corrosion due to evolution of hydrogen. So this type of corrosion generally occurs in acidic medium. So for example, rusting of iron metal in acidic environment. So you can see the diagram which is mentioned the anodic area and cathodic. So this is the metal surface. So on the bottom, the above is the acidic medium. Okay, so which is a conductive liquid. So conductive liquid is there is a contact between the liquid and the metal surface. So that tiny contact place act as a small cathodic area. So at this cathode and the metal is the anodic area, which is iron. So on anode anodic area, what will happen? The metal oxidizes and releases the electrons. So the Fe it forms Fe2 plus 2 electrons releases. And the cathodic area, so the iron, the hydrogen, so it takes the electrons and forms the H2 gas. So this is called hydrogen evolution. So there is a corrosion and oxide film formation due to the evolution of hydrogen gas. So here the diffusion of iron ions into the electrolyte. So there is always a the flow between the acidic medium and the your metal surface. So due to this flow, there is a cathodic reaction and anodic reactions takes place, and it evolves. It releases the hydrogen gas. This is called the evolution of hydrogen, corrosion through the evolution of hydrogen. So iron is the one best example, which is which is undergoes in acidic medium. So yeah, so we have already discussed with this anodic and cathodic reaction and the complete reaction. So iron plus it reacts with two hydrogen positive ions, and it releases hydrogen gas due to this oxidation and reduction reactions. So this type of corrosion causes displacement of hydrogen ions from the acidic solution by metal ions. So there is a always there is a flow between the ions between anode and cathode. So if you understood well the electrochemistry, so you could follow this electrochemical corrosion very well. So that is why first in the beginning we have discussed electrochemistry chapter. In hydrogen evolution type of this type of corrosion, so the anodic areas are large and cathodic areas are generally small. Okay, the anodic, which is the iron or metal surface, is generally it's a very large area, and cathodic areas is very small. And the second type of electrochemical corrosion is absorption of oxygen. So this type of corrosion takes place in the basic medium or neutral medium. So and also in the with the in the presence of oxygen. So this is also you can explain through rusting of iron in a neutral and basic aqueous solution of electrolyte. So in the presence of atmospheric oxygen. So usually there is a there is a reaction between iron surface and oxygen. So a thin film of iron oxide is formed on the surface. So if the film develops cracks, so anodic areas are created on the surface. So if the film develops cracks, so it could generate the anodic areas on the surface. The rest of the metal surface act as a cathode. So here, the anodic areas are small and the cathodic areas are large. Okay, due to this oxide film. And the electrons which are released, or the electron flow, it flows from anode to cathode through iron metal. Okay, so these are the reactions which you already come across previously. So the anodic reaction. So there is a oxidation at the anode, and at cathode the oxygen and the moisture, because there is a medium. So the water and oxygen, there is a reaction, and it gives OH minus ions and it reduces oxygen, reduces the 2OH minus ion. So the overall reaction, you can see, I mean, the oxide film, metal oxide, iron hydroxide film. So we can see the clearly in the diagram. So here, this is the dark part, which is the metal oxide. Okay, so it will be acting as a anodic area, and cathode is the metal here. So there is a vice versa. In the previous example, so evolution of hydrogen, the metal act as a anode, and the surface is the cathode. So here the metal is cathode, the iron is cathode. The oxide on the top of oxide film act as a anode. Okay. So if enough oxygen is plus to and then to hydrated ferric oxide, which is known as the rust. The ferric oxide. Ferric oxide is the final corrosion product. Okay. So in the previous reaction, whatever the ferric hydroxide, which will be further reacted with oxygen and water. So it forms ferric hydroxide, and this ferric and also it further oxidizes to iron oxide. So that is the final rusting product. So there is another type of corrosion is a galvanic corrosion. Are you following it? So galvanic corrosion. So, galvanic cells. So we have already discussed about galvanic cells in the electrochemistry chapter. When two different metals or dissimilar metals are electrically connected and exposed to an electrolyte, the metal higher in electrochemical series, the electrochemical series, so which we have already discussed in the first chapter. So there is a metals are arranged in a series based on their electrode, I mean the standard potentials. Okay. Standard potential means oxidation and reduction potentials. The metal higher in electrochemical series, so that means a low reduction potential, so which undergoes corrosion, and the metal lower in electrochemical series, they undergo so they are with the lower in electrochemical series, that means they have high reduction potential. So there is time. So could you follow this? So galvanic corrosion is nothing but when two dissimilar metals. So there are two different types of metals, all electrically connected and exposed to an electrolyte. Okay. So for example, here like iron and copper. So there are two different types of materials. Okay. So they are connected connected to a voltmeter, and what is the electrolyte is a copper sulfate. Copper sulfate is the electrolyte. Okay, in this case, when the metal higher in electrochemical series, means when the metal has low reduction potential, the metal has low reduction potential, so which can undergo corrosion. The metal which has higher reduction potential, for example copper has higher reduction potential, which is That means this copper is protected here, and iron is undergo corrosion. This type of corrosion is the galvanic corrosion. So the copper and zinc are connected and exposed to corroding environment. So zinc higher in electrochemical series. Okay, this is no, and undergoes oxidation and gets corroded. Copper, sorry, this is iron, not zinc. Okay, the copper lower in electrochemical series act as a cathode. Okay, which undergoes reduction and protected as the electrons released by iron flow towards copper. Okay. So please correct this. So this is not zinc, this is iron. Okay, so there are here it is zinc. Okay. Okay, so I think there is a there is a wrong in the image itself. So the text is right, but the figure is wrong here. So okay, so there is a zinc. So some examples of galvanic corrosion. So for example, steel pipe, so which is connected to copper. So I think here you can recall the one course patent. So there is one course patent which we have discussed earlier. So there on corrosion. Okay, I think this that patent is very important that for this chapter. So I think you can get even more knowledge about zinc, the metals which are hard dipped in zinc to form a protective layer on top of the metal surfaces. Okay, I think you should go through that patent. So a steel propeller shaft in branch bearing and a lead antimony solder around copper wire and steel screws in a brass marine hardware. So these are just a few examples for galvanic corrosion. So galvanic corrosion can be minimized by avoiding galvanic couple. Contact of two dissimilar metals must be avoided. Uh, by providing an insulating material between the two metals. Okay, so these two are to minimize to avoid the galvanic type of corrosion. And galvanic series. So the electrode potentials of various metals and their alloys in common use are measured by immersing them partially in seawater, and the values have been arranged in decreasing order of activity and is called a galvanic series. So this is a type of electrochemical series. So galvanic series is a type of electrochemical series, but here the electrode potentials of metals and metal alloys. So they measure by dipping the metals or metal alloys into partially dipping into seawater and the values have been arranged in decreasing order of activity and is called a galvanic series. So in galvanic series, oxidation potentials are arranged in the decreasing order. Oxidation potential are arranged in decreasing order of activity of a series of metals. So the galvanic series give real and useful information for studying the corrosion tendency of metals and alloys. Okay, do you follow this galvanic series? So this is similar to electrochemical series. So that is electrochemical series is based on reduction potentials of metals, but the galvanic series is oxidation potentials are arranged in the decreasing order of activity. So on the top of metals have higher oxidation potentials. On the top bottom of the metals have lower oxidation. Galvanic series. So the galvanic series give real and useful information for studying the corrosion tendency of metals. So this is the galvanic series. Okay. Here, so platinum has lower oxidation potential. So that means it could undergo very low oxidation process. Magnesium alloys, and these have higher oxidation potentials. The differences between galvanic series and the galvanic series and electrochemical series. I think we will end up with this after discussing the differences between these two series. So electrochemical series, which we have already discussed in the first chapter. So this series consists of metals and non-metals. In galvanic series, so we will we have listed metals as well as the metal alloys. The position of metal in this series, in electrochemical series, is permanently fixed. But in the case of galvanic series, the position of metal is different from that of the position of its alloy, of course, because here in the case of galvanic series, there are metals and metal alloys. So certainly the position will be different based on the metal its alloys. For example, so magnesium and magnesium alloy, the position is different. Aluminum on aluminum alloys, the position is different. Okay, the copper and copper alloys, the position is different. So that means see based on magnesium and magnesium alloys. So the magnesium is the first in the galvanic series, and second is the magnesium alloys. That means below. So magnesium has higher oxidation potential, and magnesium alloy has a lower oxidation potential than magnesium. So that means so there is a reduction in oxidation process. So there is that means there is a kind of production of so why we are making the alloys of metals. That means to avoid the corrosion behavior of the pure metals. Okay, so that is why. So here the metal alloys has low oxidation than the pure metal. In electrochemical series, it predicts relative displacement tendencies. Okay. So in galvanic series, so we can predict the relative corrosion tendency. In the case of electrochemical series, so the electrode potentials are measured by dipping the pure metal in their salt solution. But in electrode potential here galvanic series, the electrode potentials of metals and alloys, they are measured by immersing the metals in seawater. In electrochemical series, there is a but here directly in the seawater. Okay. So any questions? Any questions, comments? Anybody?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I will take some attendance now. $67 absent. Sorry. $87 is absent. $89. Okay, 87 and both are absent. Yeah, tell me. Any questions?
Sir, మీ వాయిస్ ఓకే బ్రేక్ అవుతుంది సార్.
బ్రేక్ అవుతుందా? ఓకే.
ఎస్ సార్, మెయిన్ టాపిక్ వచ్చేసరికి బ్రేక్ అవుతుంది. ఓకే.
ఆహా. మేబీ
Cut
అది
అవుతుంది.
సో ఓకే. సో could you follow
Yes.
for the corrosions, what types of corrosions? Okay. So even I have already posted these slides on the course web, so you can download them. On any questions, any comments, if you have, we can discuss. Any questions, doubts, comments?
No, sir.